Gantry remix, page 444.
Welcome back, take 444, still in the letter E. We are starting this episode with the atrociously named Electric Toilet from Mississippi, in the Hands of Karma. This is a reissue on Psycho Records from the record shop in Margate in Kent. I think this came out in '83. The original of this came out, actually I haven't got that written down, 1970. Yeah, 1970. So they're from Mississippi. It's much better than the title or the name of the band. The sleeve is exact reproduction of it. The originals of these go for like $500. Very expensive, and I've never seen an original. I don't think it sold particularly well, probably because of the name of the band, but it's pretty good. So there's quite a lot of gospel choirs and stuff on here, lots of fuzz guitar, organ, gospel organ, but they occasionally, and on one track in particular, brew up a heady psychedelic stew, which is fantastic. And the best track is Within Your State of Mind, on second track on side one. There are only 6 tracks on it, so there's some good long wig outs on here. Yeah, and it's really good. They really get going, and like I say, brew up a real storm of improvisation and just some crazy stuff going on the keyboards and electric guitar, and it's really good. I wouldn't pay out for an original, but I'm quite happy to have this. Like I say, in the Hands of Karma by the Electric Toilet. Probably would have done better if they'd just got a better name. Next up is a band who actually didn't even release an album. This is I've got a couple of those this episode. So this is a band called The Earth, and the album is called Elemental. It's got this fantastic silver foil cover. So this came out in 2015 through Record Collector magazine. They were banned from where were they from? Portsmouth, I think, was it? I think it's Portsmouth. Those are the labels. And this, yeah, it's recorded in '68. There's a couple of bonus tracks on here. So it's from studio tapes. A couple of bonus tracks on here which were live in '67. Quite unusual to get some live stuff from that year. And this is also the first appearance of Alan Parsons of Alan Parsons Project, and the Fabs engineered Let It Be and stuff like that, and Dark Side of the Moon. So he plays guitar on here. I can get the record back in the colour. Yeah, so that's Alan Parsons' corner there. Yeah, so this is typical of '68, really. It's 67. It's heavily influenced by Cream. Kind of sounds a bit like early Black Sabbath, that sort of thing. So limited to 500. There's my certificate. This is number 118. I think they're pretty hard to get hold of now. Looks like 2015 it came out. And it's yeah, it's good. It's I'm glad I picked it up when it came out. The bass on here, whose name is Barry Mitchell, became just after this became the bassist in an early version of Queen before John Deacon took over, and he was also in a band called Crushed Butler, who are reasonably well known, although not heard of. They were kind of like proto punk band in the UK, sort of like Pink Fairies, that sort of thing. So he played bass in Queen and Crushed Butler and The Earth. And this was never released, as I say. These are studio tracks that the band broke up before they could get out. I don't think they played too many gigs either. It was a very short-lived band, but yeah, if you like that 67, 68 UK blues, heavy blues, distortion, Cream, Hendrix type stuff, check it out. Like I say, there's a little bit of Black Sabbath in there as well. Next up is a band called The Eyes. This is seen but not heard. Band who, again, actually all three bands this month or this episode who didn't actually release an album. So The Eyes were a band from the UK in the 60s who released quite a few, half a dozen or more freak beat singles, proto-psych singles, and never got round to doing an album. And the singles are now astronomically expensive, as you can imagine. It's sort of £300, £400, £500 for a decent copy, because they didn't sell anything, and they're great freak beat anthems. This is on Bam Caruso, who put out two. This is really like an EP actually, because it's there's only 4 or 5 tracks on it. Although it plays at 30, no, it plays at 45. The first part of the record is the grooves are blank, so it's not, doesn't cover the whole 12-inch of the wax. So this is I need their other album. They did another album called that Bam Caruso released, their compilation of their singles called Blink. This one has is a collection of acetates and Radio London jingle, and it's okay. It's like I say, freak beat, modish, proto-psych, kind of a little bit of influence of Jeff Beck and the Yardbirds, that type of thing. It does say on here, these recordings would have all been dubbed from original acetates. The sound is not dissimilar to a pan of frying chips, but the musical content would suffer if we tried to clean it up further. At least we didn't get the band to reform and play disco versions of their hits. The usual Bam Caruso tongue firmly in cheek. Like I say, I need to get the other album they've produced called Blink, which has got their singles on. Next up we have a band from the US, from West Virginia, called Evol, which obviously is love spelled backwards. They didn't release any albums and they didn't release any singles either. This band got together in, I think it was 66, 67. The songs were written then, they weren't recorded until 71, I think, 1970, something like that. That's the label. It's on really thick vinyl, this. Yeah, they didn't release anything, and an acetate was found on eBay, I think it was, a few years ago, and Gear Fab Records, who put this out, the guy bought it up and tracked the band down and got the rights to it and put this out. So that's Gear Fab Records. So what's it like? It's tight harmonies with some killer fuzz and pretty decent songwriting, although it does sound like it was written in 66, 67. There's lots of short tracks, so there's no wig outs on this. There's no extended explorations of the mind with lengthy solos and keyboards and what have you. It's fairly succinct pop, but it's well recorded and it's good, and it's if you like that period, and I do, it's worth checking out. yeah, so Gear Fab Records, Evol, and self-titled. Yeah, I enjoy it. It doesn't get too many spins, but I've got a soft spot for it. Last up, and hammering away in the background is, and preaching in the background are the wonderful Elmer Gantry's Velvet Opera. We all know this sleeve. It's one of the UK psychedelia's most well-known covers, on Direction Records. This came out in '68, so on Direction, as I say, which is a CBS subsidiary, I think. This is a stereo copy. I think it was released in the States as well. And it's, yeah, I'm sure everybody knows it. It's very good. They're probably the downfall of this band is they were a little bit too varied in what they were doing. There's some bits which are kind of vaudeville, some bits which are very psychedelic, and there's some bits as they now strike up which are like proper psychedelic 67 London Eastern sitar and what have you. So they were originally called the Five Proud Walkers. Quite an interesting story. They were called the Five Proud Walkers, and then they went on tour with supporting Pink Floyd. Not sure how the tour went, but they saw the error of their ways as they were an R&B band, and they renamed themselves at the end of the tour Elmer Gantry's Velvet Opera, and went off in a completely different direction, much to our enjoyment. It's great. I love their stuff. There's the best track on here is called Dream Starts, I think, which was playing earlier, which has got great distorted vocals. Album was Elmer Gantry's Velvet Opera, and then they, the guitarist and the singer, who renamed himself Elmer Gantry, left, and they became Velvet Opera. But they also did some great radio sessions for John Peel. Was it? Yeah, it was Radio 1, Saturday Club, and Perfume Garden, I think it was, this is a bootleg that it's never had an official release. So this gathers together those sessions. So they do a version of All Along the Watchtower. There's a short interview on here, and then there's three versions of Flames, which is their sort of semi-hit. I had a copy of the single, which I'll dig out one day when I go through my singles. That's the band. On Apothecary Records. It's not essential, this, but if you really like your stuff and you like the Velvet Opera, it's worth picking up. I don't think it's too expensive. The first album and the second album are now getting ridiculously expensive. This first album, this is like I said, stereo version. You've got the stereo sticker on. These used to be all over the place for like £2 or £3 in the 80s. They were really easy to find, which is when I got that. And I went through 2 or 3 versions before I got a really nice clean one. And also after they sort of splintered into 2, they renamed themselves the Velvet Opera, and they produced a second album called Ride a Hustler's Dream. This is on CBS, which was Direction's main label, so that's just the standard CBS. This came out in '69, and again probably suffers from being too varied. On this one they tackle all sorts. They do an instrumental version, quite a long one as well, of Elmer Rigby. They do a track called Raga, which is, as you would expect, like a 4-minute sitar track. They do Statesboro Blues, which is being done by everybody from Taj Mahal and the Allman Brothers, and then they do some tracks on here which are just completely bonkers, like vaudeville, all over. Dreamy Psych, Warm Day in July, and is a really great track, just all over the place, and it probably suffers from that, but it's great. It's definitely worth picking up, and it's got a great cover as well. I really like that cover. Elmer Gantry's Velvet Opera, one of the UK's most well-known psychedelic records. Grab yourself a copy if you can find one, and give it a spin, because it's great. First is probably the best, I think, of the 2. But so this came out in '68, and the second one came out in '69. Enjoy, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.
My little rag doll, vaya con Dios, be happy always. Run before the wind dance, before the sun. The music box will play a tune.